Hey guys, JH6, and I appreciate you guys watching. So typically get questions on which one should be my first gun, and I've done multiple videos here on this channel related to that. So today I'm going to talk about the combat gun versus the CCW gun. I mean, a lot of guys don't have too much money, so a lot of guys are trying to spend money on a specific firearm to defend themselves. So I wanted to address those two different platforms, if you want to say, two different categories. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching. So let's get started. Alright guys, so the first thing, if you decided to buy a gun and carry a gun every day, I think that's amazing, and definitely every American should do that. But with that being said, a lot of times we get that question, what should be my first gun? And it all comes down to, what are you going to use that gun for? Is that going to be a home defense gun? Is that going to be a CCW gun? Are you looking for a combat gun? If something happened, that is your combat pistol, which you're going to train with it and you're going to utilize it to defend yourself. I mean, that's just a lot of questions that you need to answer. That is why a lot of guys, when they ask, when you get asked that question, what should be my first gun? A lot of guys said things like the Glock 19. And some people may hate it, some people may like it, but I gotta tell you guys, in my opinion, I think the Glock 19 fits that category. CCW, you could conceal this gun. It's not as good as a Glock 26 or the MMP Shield, but you could still conceal this gun, and you could still utilize it as a home defense gun. You could still utilize it as a combat gun. You could put a Glock 17 mag. You could even put one of the 33 round mag, and you could still use this gun. So I definitely think this is a good choice. Alright guys, so with that being said, the Glock 19 definitely, I think that it meets that category in the middle. But when it comes down to combat guns, combat pistols, the first thing that we need to address, guys, is that a pistol should be utilized to fire yourself back to a rifle. Nothing is going to take the position, or nothing is going to take the capabilities of a rifle. You should have a rifle. But when it comes down to the combat pistol, I think a full-size pistol should be the one that, missed that category. In my case, I got a Glock 17, and I got to tell you guys, I really like this Glock. You guys know that, and I'm going to tell you some of the things why I think this is a good combat pistol. Now, it has 17+1, you guys know that, which is a very good capacity, compared to other pistols out there. It is easy to maintain, it is easy to use, it is, easy to operate. It doesn't have anything crazy like decocker, safety, and things that could get in the way. Also, it has a rail, so you could attach some type of flashlight. Now, some guys will say, well, I don't want to put a flashlight, I don't think it's necessary. I get that, but the fact that you have a rail is good, guys. Choices are always good. I prefer to have it and not use it than not to have it. So definitely a Glock 17 is a good pistol for combat, to include home defense. Alright guys, so when it comes down to CCW, one of my favorite guns, MMP Shield. I gotta tell you guys, this is awesome to carry. And when it comes down to CCW, I gotta tell you guys, the whole market, or the whole way this pistol is built, is for comfort. You're gonna carry this gun every single day, 100% of the time. So you want to have a gun that is extremely comfortable, but you got to keep in mind that the fact that you're making this gun comfortable to carry is taking away some of the capacity or some of the capability that the full-size gun has, like the Glock 17. Now this gun has 7+1, 8+1, so right there we're looking at 10 rounds less. So that is definitely a big deal. The fact that it's a smaller pistol, it takes away velocity, which it could take away from the impact of the bullet, could take away from the ballistic and all that stuff that some of you guys may know a lot about. I'm not too much into ballistics and all that stuff. So the fact that it's a smaller pistol, it does not have a rail, so you could barely attach a flashlight. Now there's some guns out there, very small ones, that you could attach a flashlight, but in particular in this one you cannot. So it's some things that you're going to take away from getting a CCW pistol versus a combat pistol. Alright guys, so with that being said, to answer the question, which one should you get, I think that comes down to your budget. How much money do you have? How much money do you want to spend? In my case, I got a Glock 17 that I use as my combat gun. if I go traveling, if I go anywhere that I'm gonna be away for a long time, or you know, for a couple of days, or something, you know, home defense, this is the gun that I have with me. But typically now I'm carrying a CW 45, but typically I used to carry, or I carry an MMP Shield because it's smaller, it's easy to carry. So again guys, if you don't have that much money and you're gonna buy that first gun, I would recommend you to buy something in the middle. I would definitely recommend you to buy something like a Glock 19, something in the middle that you could utilize as a concealed gun, but you could also utilize as a combat gun. And even the Glock 26, I gotta tell you guys, those compact guns, Glocks, you could put a Glock 17 mag, or you could put a Glock 33 round mag, and could be utilized as a really good concealment gun, and also could be utilized as a combat gun. So you need to find yourself one of those firearms that meet that criteria in the middle. But with that being said guys, as you save up money, as you get more money, as you start building your collection, I would definitely recommend you to buy a CCW gun. I mean, these guns are extremely comfortable and extremely easy to carry and a lot of fun. But I will also recommend you to buy a full-size gun. I mean, this Glock 17 is just an awesome gun. The MMP9, you know, very, very good guns out there. So I would definitely recommend you to buy something like this as well. So with that being said, let me know what you think down in the comment. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And God is in control.